Peace, family. What's good? It's your brother Brian Ni Akoboy Doku, also known as Melanin Rich. And family, the Uplifted Being Show is back, all up in this. My sentiments exactly. We got Sister Angela in the building. I'm in the building. And our good brother Dwayne is with us in spiritual essence. And we got a fire, flame episode for y'all. But let me just allow the queen to introduce herself, though.
Why, thank you, King. Peace and blessings, family. Sister Angela, also known as now Melanin, hailing from London, England, in the UK. Yes, we are back in a very understated but real way. You know, we like to give it to you raw and real and ready. So, yeah, I echo what the king said. We got a real fire show for you today. But let me take one step back. If you are new to the show, the Uplifted Being Show, you're joining us here for the first time, let us send you some uplifted, loving, light, warm, embracing welcome to the show.
Big ups.
Right. We are about everything and anything to remind you, not to teach you, not to tell you, not to convince you, just to remind you of what you already know. What is that? That you, yes you are a powerful creator, like each and every one of us is. So, welcome, powerful creator, to the show. And there's not much else to say, but just to get straight into this. So, what are we talking about today, Brother Nee? Melanin Rich?
We're talking about growing pains. You know, you might be in a relationship, going through it, growing through it, and things feel different. You might be going through puberty, getting some pubic hairs all up in your stuff, and your joints is hurting. You might, you know what I'm saying? You might be entering a new work, a new job, you know. You might be doing something you've never done before. Just the fact of, you know, when we're expanding in life, it also comes equipped with pain.
Shade. That's the truth. Growing pains. So yeah, I'm sure most of us can remember experiencing something like that from as young as like when you cut your first tooth, right? It's always painful. You may not remember as a baby, but I'm sure you've seen other babies like teething is a big thing. Like the children don't sleep, the parents hardly sleep. It's deep. So that's on the physical level, which is, you know, very real. Just like when we're growing and like I know we're just talking about us, you know, puberty, making that transition, that rite of passage. But simply put, in any rite of passage, if you like, in any transition to a new level, you know, when we're leveling up, and we level up every time we do something for the first time, or, you know, something completely new, or kind of in the same ballpark but bigger, you know. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you know, and you made your first 10K, and then the next thing is like, okay, now you've just hit 50K, you know. It's all a transition. Or in a relationship, you know, so you've met somebody you're dating, and now it's like, oh, you're engaged, you know, transition. And you know, from my perspective, there's always going to be two ways in which we come at that, like we deal with those growing pains, because there's the two sides of us. There's the higher self, that powerful creator side, if you can call it that, and then there's our lower self, or our ego, and they have very different perspectives. Isn't that right, Brother Melanin Rich?
That's a fact. You know, that's definitely a fact. My ego's telling me no, but my higher being is telling me yeah.
And it really does feel like that sometimes. Or no. But you could even flip it because sometimes it's your ego that tells you yes when it really has no business telling you yes.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
um. So yeah, I mean we're here talking about this subject. If you're listening, I'm sure it's relevant to you because at least coming from the uplifted being, the Trinity's perspective, I can speak on behalf of us. There's no such thing as coincidence, everything's divinely timed. So let's put that randomness out the window. So we are here and we're talking about this because, okay, let me talk about me. I'm living this, so this is the first time in a long time that I've been technically unemployed. But this time by choice, because I decided to take some time out to do various things, spend more time with the young kings, grow my coaching business, give my mum a break, who has been helping with the young kings, And actually, when I finally finished, like the last day at work, finished work, then I realized that a big part of that was actually I just needed to get some rest. I just needed some rest to get back to me, And so that's a major thing, having, like I said, not worked. Having not worked, or the first time not working for a long time. That's a big shake up for the ego. It's like, what's going on? You're supposed to be out there earning money. You know what I mean? That's kind of like panic mode. And so I have the two sides. The ego is like panic. You should be looking for work. You're irresponsible. You have children to feed. How can you not be working? And my higher self is like, yeah, go and drop the kings off at school, go for a walk, by the river and, sit in nature and sing and dance and relax and write and all this other stuff, and all this stuff is going on at the same time. That's just crazy. The thing is, you have that, what can I say, transitional time, and albeit all those things can be kind of happening at once, what we say as a powerful creator, like it's up to you what you choose to focus on. It can get real heavy, fair enough. It's not like you can run away from the stuff, but it's like, do you just decide to stay in the panic, the lack, the, survival aspect, or do you just take a deep breath, just breathe, and remember, all the wonderful stuff that you're creating on the other side, like, more time with my children, singing more just for the sake of singing because I love it. What would you say, the Melanin Rich? What's your experience? What do you want to tell the family about?
I wish Brother Dwayne was here to speak on my behalf.
No, I don't reflection.
Yeah, but it's just something we all just go through, and I tend to tune into my higher self, my authentic self, far more than like my ego talks, but I just don't hear it, like you know what I mean, as much. Because I'm just on a different frequency. Like I feel like I'm more tuned to the same frequency as, my innermost being, my higher self. But, I like the big thing with me right now is like I always try to make time for the little things that I feel are valuable to my life. Like those little walks in the park. Riding my little bicycle, and then
crucial, man.
detouring and trying to, take the scenic route with the nature and the greenery and the scenery, and taking time to breathe, and you know, just trying
Yeah.
to eat right, and just the little things that most people just don't have time for in this day and age. It's like, who's got time to walk in the park? Who's got time to, who ain't nobody got time for that shit. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
everything that could potentially better your standard of life and
Yeah.
quality of life. When I say standard, I'm not talking about material good
Not status.
possession.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about like your actual health and wholesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, this is a battle that we all go through. But as far as, the transitioning from, one way of living to, the level up, like you were talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
like, how about like you experience pain with that? Because, we're talking about the growing pains, where does the
Mm-hmm.
pain come in the transition?
The pain comes in because basically every time, like I received this just the other day, it's something that we know, but I just love the way that it's expressed. It's expressed, and it basically says, every time you take yourself to a new level, prepare for a new devil. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Every time you take yourself to a new level, prepare for a new devil, because you know we hopefully we are. I say hopefully because we're not always aware, but hopefully, since we are growing organisms, we are always evolving, or at least always supposed to be evolving. So when we step out and we do that new thing, or that higher thing, new job, new relationship, or more intense or bigger, venture, or like moving home or moving country,
Mm-hmm.
basically something out of our normal, out of our comfort zone. It's great if that truly is coming from a place that's from our soul, from our higher self, because that's us spreading our wings, and pushing beyond what we know to go into the unknown, which is where, as we know, is the magic. It's the things that are truly um, abundant, and
Mm-hmm.
nourishing and nurturing. But then what happens is that we go to that new place, and ego says, "Hey, you ain't leaving me behind." So then ego levels up, and it's like the way I like to explain it is like it's just our ego's attempt to remind us that it's still there. Like, hey, don't forget me. I'm still here. Because as much as I don't know how much our listeners would have heard about or talked about or read about ego, but usually we demonize the ego, right? But the ego, it's got a purpose. It's our protector. It's like our bodyguard. It's there to keep us safe, help us to survive, protect us. So it's got a purpose. But because it's based on the past, anytime you do something new, that's like you can't go there. Like, I don't have a good audit trail of, what happened the last time. So I can't tell you this is safe. So
Mm-hmm.
we experience the pain because, yeah, we're doing the things that we really love to do. And the ego's like, hold up, wait a minute, you can't do that. You're going to die. And so we got to deal with that. And that can look like anything. That can look like, I can relate to this one. Like, okay, so let me think. You could even start in a new job and you're getting paid really well, but somehow you go and end up getting like a parking ticket that never got delivered to you, and so when it actually arrives at you, you have to pay like the top level of the fine. Like, how did that happen? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or somebody goes and breaks something in your home that's really expensive. Do you know what I mean? You'll be either hemorrhaging money, or suddenly you can find that you get really, really busy. Like, all of a sudden, everybody needs your attention, like at work, at home, uh, you know, get really, really busy. So that's what it can look like. So you get the thing
Like,
that you want, but then closely followed by, okay, some kind of what I'll just call chaotic or some crazy stuff.
I would call it self-sabotage.
Yes, that is the perfect word for it. It is. It is that, and that's a journey. Just learning how it is that you sabotage yourself, because we all do it in different ways. You know what I mean? And you see it most commonly. Like the classic thing is like where an athlete, they may go and beat a big, they may go and win a big tournament or something. Like I think it was Usain Bolt. Was the last one that he won? I can't remember. It's so bad. But basically, his last biggest win that he won, and then it's like a few days after, if or maybe a week at the latest, then you read in the paper that there's some scandal, or they've just gone on a wild thing and womanizing and this that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? Because like, they got what they wanted, and now it's like, we're gonna he's gonna, like Brother Melanin Rich says, he's gonna sabotage himself, because actually, as much as we want that thing, the ego is always about telling us how inadequate we are and how we don't deserve the thing that we're going for. Mm-hmm. So from my perspective, that's why then we self-sabotage. So that's where the pain is. It's like you get the sweet, closely followed by the bitter.
That's why you just got to go for the bitter until the bitter tastes sweet, because you've changed.
No more bitters.
Yes. Pitas.
I'm not sure about going for the bitters. I would say, know how it tastes. Yeah, for sure. Know how it tastes. But I wouldn't, so that I, like you said, my palate is accustomed to it, but it's like, I'm still going for that sweet. The sweet is always going to taste. The sweet is always going to taste sweeter than the bitter. And actually, that's such a brilliant analogy you use. Because now I'm just thinking, actually, the more bitter something is, when you taste the sweet, the more sweet it
sweet it becomes. Exactly. The bitters will make the sweet sweeter.
Exactly.
Sweetio.
Gosh, I haven't heard that in ages. So basically, the more drama, conflict, confusion, chaos, self-sabotage you are able to manage. I'm not saying eradicate, or I don't say manage, I mean actually like handle, like be in it, and not let it
be in it,
sabotage you. Yeah, exactly. Be in it, but not be consumed by it. Then when you hit that sweet, when you achieve that goal, you meet that special person, you get that job, you start your business, you have the baby, whatever it is, you're new, it literally is like the best thing ever, because you had to go to the darkest depths first to get up there.
Yeah, when you said that, I was just thinking about labor being one of the biggest growing pains. And, I never carried a child or pushed a child out, but I can only imagine the pain because I've witnessed it. But the joy that proceeds, you could speak on it more than I could.
Well, yeah. And Mother Nature is beautiful. It's true. It's a lot of pain, and